I'm a physical therapist and a yoga teacher, and today we're going to be discussing yoga for menstruation, which is a really amazing topic. I have dedicated a lot of my professional life to learning about yoga for menstruation, and a lot of my knowledge has come from the world of Iyengar yoga. I just want to start with, what is the objective of yoga for the menstrual cycle? The objective is, I guess overall in the menstrual cycle, you'll want to synchronize your yoga practice with all 4 stages of the yoga cycle. Basically, yoga can help you maintain a healthy endocrine system and hormonal system throughout your cycle. So, and yoga differs then from regular exercise in that it helps bring focus and attention to your organs, and specifically with this practice to your reproductive organs and all the related systems. So this next piece of advice is really important. In yoga for menstruation specifically, there are certain things you want to avoid. Inversions, so that's where your head is lower than your hips, there's a few exceptions to that. You'll also want to avoid strong twists, because that can sort of cramp off the blood flow to your uterus, as well as avoiding gripping of the abdomen. So that is like any hardcore abdominal exercises where you're gripping your ab muscles. Again, that kind of can cut off some blood flow to your reproductive organs. Also avoid fast jumping motions. And that can also include running, which I always used to run on my period and like exercise and everything, except for when I started really tuning into my body and getting more and more fine-tuned, I started to notice that running actually did end up increasing cramping. And the things that you want to do on your menstrual cycle are practice forward extensions, so it's like forward folds. It really helps to like open up your sacrum and your low back. As well as supine poses, so that's like laying on your back. So restful, the idea is you want restful, restorative, inward focus. And then also do poses that create space for your pelvis and your abdomen. I'm going to show you some poses today that are basic poses that I think most people can do, that I've found really helpful for my cycle. And then if you wanna, you can go deeper. Like there are specific practices for heavy cycle, specific practices for a scanty period, specific practices for headache on your period. So there are a lot of variations, but I'm just going to show you some basic poses for today that can help most people. This sequence today is supposed to help you embrace the time of menstruation. That's what it really has been for me, is when I practice yoga on my cycle, I've really learned to accept and embrace and sometimes even love the time of my cycle, because it's a time for us to really like tune inward as compared to ovulation. Ovulation is a time for us to really get out there, be more extroverted. We can help others, do activities, whereas menstruation it's like our time. It's our time as a woman to really come inward and take care of ourselves. So in that way, you can think, oh, maybe it is kind of a nice time for us. But it is hard when you have discomfort, and discomfort is not, you shouldn't accept it as normal. There are things you can do to help your discomfort. Basically, discomfort is telling you that there's an imbalance happening in your body, and we need to address that imbalance. So this sequence can help create lightness, quietness to your body and mind, and also can help reduce cramping, fluid retention, heaviness and bloating in your abdomen and legs, irregular digestion, low back pain, etc. So with no further ado, I'm going to start in a seated position. And I like to have some height under my hips, so if you have a blanket or a bolster, just go ahead and place that underneath your hip bones here. Now start with your legs out in front of you and place your hands underneath your inner knees here. Bring one leg in and out. So we're just going to do that a couple times. We're warming up the hip sockets. Good. And try to use as little effort in your hip flexors. Really use your hand to help lift your leg in. Okay. And now finally bring one leg in, and then the other leg will come to your seat. Okay. So find just grounding through your sit bones here, and begin to close your eyes as you find your center. And bring your attention to your pelvis. And now start to notice your breath. So as you inhale, feel the air filling your lungs as your abdomen expands. You might feel an expansion downward into the pelvis like a balloon. And as you exhale, feel that balloon get smaller, and you might feel some pressure lift up off of your pelvis. But again, inhale, feel the balloon expanding into your abdomen and pelvis. And exhale, feel everything getting a little smaller, pressure lifting up off your pelvis. One more. Now we're going to introduce some movement to your pelvis. So begin by rocking your pelvis forward and back. Gentle rocking. So you'll feel your sit bones, and it's like you're rocking onto the front of your sit bones and onto the back. This is also known as pelvic tilts or pelvic rocking. Forward and back. And then we're going to go side to side a little bit. And then forward and back again. Really become aware of that area between your pubic bone and your tailbone. That is where your pelvic floor is. There's many, many muscles that are supporting your reproductive organs. And your bladder, uterus, and rectum all lie between your pubic bone and your sacrum. So just bring your awareness to that space as you're rocking. Gentle, gentle rocking. Now find your center. So find the right in the middle of forward and back. Just notice what you feel. We've brought a little blood flow to the area. Take another breath. And release. Good. Okay, our next pose for yoga for menstruation is Adho Mukha Svanasana. So that is downward facing dog. But we're going to do it supported. So I want to take some time to show you a great setup, a great home setup you can do for this pose. So you're going to need 2 long yoga straps. And so I've already got it a little set up to save time here. And what I did is tied the yoga straps together. Okay, and you don't need to do this whole setup right now, but this is kind of for future reference. You can just do normal down dog for now. But what I'm going to do is take a block and wrap one end of your big loop around the block like this. Okay. And then what you're going to need is a door. So I'm going to take this door here and see how it closes from this way to this way. That's where you want to have the front of this hanging, so you have the frame to support it. So I'm going to throw the block over the top of the door like this, and then close the door. And then pull down, just make sure it's nice and stable. Okay? Then I'm going to take a blanket here and place it over the strap. So that's going to give some nice support to your hips. And then take a bolster and place it on the floor lengthwise like this. Okay, I'm going to take my socks off so I don't slip. So what I'm going to show you is supported down dog. So normally you do this on a rope wall if you have an Iyengar studio, but this is a home setup. So you place the strap with the blanket right at your pelvic bones, okay? And let me just get my notes here so I can guide you through this. Okay, here we go. You place it at your hip bones below your abdomen. That's really important. You don't want pressure on your organs here. You want it on the pelvis. And then slowly lean forward, and you're going to come into your down dog, and your heels can be on the ground or they can be slightly up on the door like this. And then your forehead is going to relax on the bolster. So I'll show you the full pose here.
It was really nice because I don't have any weight in my hands or my shoulders really.
You just get to relax. So find yourself in your version of downward facing dog. It could just be on your mat right now. And the benefits of this pose are it relaxes your lower abdomen, and it really, really helps to reduce cramping, and it helps your uterus discharge your menstrual flow. Okay, and it also helps your mind become quiet and helps release any mental tension. And it's also very warming, this pose. So if you're cold, it's a cold winter day, this helps increase some heat in your body. So when you're in this pose, think about lifting the kneecaps, tightening the thighs, straighten your elbows, and really lengthen the sides of your torso here. So really lengthen through here. And let go of your abdominal muscles. And then rest your head and neck. So I'm just going to hold this pose for a moment.
You want to hold it for like 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, buddy, lay down. Okay, and then when you're ready to come up, slowly walk your feet toward your hands.
I like to just rest here in a forward fold for a moment.
And then slowly come back up. And if you have any lightheadedness, turn around and place your forehead on your forearms against the door like this. So for me, that really helps release like my low back, my sacrum, tailbone, and I start to feel some nice blood flow into the pelvis. Okay, so we're going to move into the next pose, which is Supta Parshva Padangusthasana 2, which is supine side big toe pose. So you actually could benefit from a strap here. Let me grab a strap. I'd say a strap and a bolster is really nice for the restorative version of this pose. So I'll get you into the pose first, and then I'll talk about the benefits of it. So take your bolster or like a stack of blankets or even your couch to the side of you. Here, I'll go this way. Okay, and then take your strap. Go ahead and lay on your back. Let's do a little warm up first. So let's warm up by just bringing we're going to the left side, so bring your left knee to your chest and just rotate in the hip socket here. Just holding onto your knee. Rotate one direction and then rotate the other direction. So really feel your SI joint, loosening up on the left side. Not really your joint, it's more like the muscles around the SI releasing here. And then take your strap and place it around your foot, the bottom of your foot, more towards your heel. And raise your leg up in the air, and then bring your left leg out to the side. And find your couch or your chair or your bolster, and find a comfortable position for your leg to relax. And let your right arm come out to the side. Just notice how that feels for you. You should feel relaxed for the most part. Yes, you're holding your strap or your foot, but let your abdomen relax. So as you keep holding this pose, the benefits of this pose is it really helps decongest your abdomen and your pelvis. So if you've got any like bloating sensation, it helps move the lymphatics through. And it also helps as your pelvis opens and decongests, and the uterus can contract less to expel the flow. So cramping is like your uterus is like really contracting hard to expel the menstrual flow. But once you open up this area, then your uterus doesn't have to work as hard, so you get less cramping. This pose for me is like the #1 pose for cramps. It's pretty amazing how it works. And it also helps your like peristalsis and your digestive system if you tend to have gut issues on your period. And it just helps you to become more aware of this area. So what I think about in this pose is really soften your abdomen. And you can close your eyes and just like release your eyes to the back of your head. And think about the left inner groin extending towards the left inner knee to the left inner ankle. That whole area is opening up all the way to your left ovary and to the left side of your uterus. You might even be aware of like all the ligaments around your ovary and uterus are opening, and all those little muscles. Good. So I would say lay here for at least 2 minutes. You could lay here for 5 minutes or longer. And we're going to release this pose. Let's go ahead and do the other side to make it even. So I like to bend my knee. Just be gentle with yourself. Okay, so just either move your body or move your support to the other side. And then bring your right knee into your chest. And first, again, just start to rotate the knee, or use your knee to rotate your hip socket, hip joint here, okay? And again, we're feeling all the little muscles around the right SI joint release. Just think, relax your pelvic floor, relax your belly. Good. And then take your strap, place it around the bottom of your foot, more towards the heel. And then bring your right leg out to the side and find the support. Left arm drapes out to the left side. And breathe. So here, feel the line from your right ankle to your right inner knee, your right groin, to the right ovary, to the right side of your uterus. Allow opening on that side. Allow your abdomen to soften. Allow your pelvic floor to soften. And then just let your eyes relax back towards the back of your head. Again, this one is so good for abdominal cramps. It just opens up your pelvis and it makes it easier for your uterus to expel the flow. It doesn't have to work as hard. And I swear by this pose on my period. Okay, so then gently bend your knee. Maybe use your right hand to guide your leg back up to center. Good. And then, so gently come to sitting. So that means don't use your abdominal muscles, as little as you can. So roll to your side and come up, because that can just kind of ruin everything that we just did. Is if you like whip yourself up, you'll cramp your abdominal muscles and your uterus will get angry. So just be very mindful of that. Okay, so the next pose I love for the menstrual cycle is called Adho Mukha Virasana, which is downward facing hero pose. This is a restorative version of the pose. So what you'll need is at least one bolster and one blanket. So this is also known as child's pose or with wide knees. So I'm going to take the blanket and fold it a couple times. I'll try like this. And then place the blanket on the edge of your bolster like this. And then bring your knees, bring the bolster like in between your knees, wide knees here. And then you're going to lean forward and then place your forehead on the blanket. So that blanket's there so you can have room to breathe. And then place your arms like this. Doesn't that feel good? It's like really relaxing. Now, if this is challenging for you, place another bolster on top. So build up the height if this is hard for you, if you feel like your head is really far down. You want your head to be basically in line with your pelvis. So just stay there and feel this pose. This helps release your low back, like it helps release and broaden your low back. And really, again, focus on relaxing your abdomen. And here with your forehead, with the pressure on your forehead, really helps calm your mind and it helps you gain that more profound, like inward focus, which is part of the amazing experiences of menstruation, is we tend to have a deeper sense of inward focus, which leads to more insights and a deeper meditation. So just feel that. Just allow your brain to rest toward the forehead. And relax your face, soften your eyes. Make sure your shoulders are released away from your ears so they're not like all bunched up. Your neck should be relaxed. And if you're having discomfort, you can always relax your head to one side. But if you do that, you want to make sure that you release your head to the other side. I'll allow you to rest here for a few more breaths. Of course, you would hold this for a lot longer time if you were doing this in your home practice. You can even bring your awareness to your pelvic floor and feel how your legs in this position allow for a spreading of the pelvic floor. So again, that area between your pubic bone and your tailbone Feel that gentle spreading and opening. Okay, and then we're going to gently come back up. And here, after this one, I like to do a few cat-cows as we're in this position. So if you want to join me, you can, just flexing and extending. So inhale as you extend your spine. Exhale as you flex. Gentle here, no gripping. And then if your knees have gotten tight in that pose, you can just extend one leg and the other, or you can do a little downward facing dog to open up the backs of your knees after that pose. And here the pillow is placed perfectly to allow for a head support. Okay. Alright, we have two more poses. Well, one more before Shavasana. This next pose is Supta Baddha Konasana, which is supine bound ankle pose. So you'll need a bolster, a blanket, and a strap. So place the bolster lengthwise or vertical to your mat behind you. Like that. Okay, and then the blanket is for head support. So I take it like this, and I'm going to place it at the back of the bolster there. And then come to sit at the, like right at the edge. So the edge of the bolster is going to be right against the back of your sacrum. Okay. And then you're going to take your strap. This part's optional, but it just adds to the release, I think. So you're going to take your strap and place it behind you. And it should be down, like it should be down on your sacrum. So pretty low. And it comes over your groin, and you're going to bring it underneath your feet and then hook the strap together. And I like to have the end of the strap facing me so that you can have more control over it when you're in the pose. Now if you're feeling any discomfort or gripping in your groin, definitely place blocks or blankets or some kind of support underneath your knees. Okay, so then all you have to do is lay back. Lay back. I actually like to tuck my tailbone under a little bit to lengthen the lumbar. Lay back until you find your head support and move your blanket so that it's underneath your head and your neck, but not your shoulders. So just bring it to like the tops of your shoulders. And then, now that you're in the pose, take the strap and pull. Pull it a little bit more so that you get that tension between your sacrum and your ankles. Just feel the release here. So this pose, obviously, it's opening the basin of your pelvis, and it increases circulation to your reproductive organs. And it also helps rest your body and your mind. Just creates that sense of inner stability and quietness. So actually in the beginning, you can even work on clasping your arms overhead, like this. Grab your elbows. That feels like a really nice lengthening through your side bodies. And when you're doing that with your arms overhead, press your heels together to lengthen your inner thighs and your inner knees. So again, arms overhead, press your heels together and feel that opening in your groin to your knees. And then release. And release your arms out to the side, kind of a little bit angled down towards your knees. And as you're resting here, soften your abdomen, soften your neck and your head. So here we were softening everything. Now to come out of the pose, you release your strap and then let your knees come back up. I would support them with your hands. Roll to your side. We're coming to Shavasana, which is very important for the end of any yoga practice. So I like to at least have a pillow for my head at the back of the mat. Okay? And sometimes it's nice to even spread a blanket out on your mat to help you release. I'm gonna walk you through coming into this pose. So start like this, sitting on your bum with your hands behind you. And then as you come down, it's like you're tucking your tailbone under. Tuck your tailbone until you get to your elbows. Then release one foot and the other and come on down. And walk the blanket underneath your head and your neck. And then walk your shoulder blades together. So you're just in a nice relaxed position with your lumbar long and your neck long. And if you'd like, what I find nice, especially in your period, is to place a bolster underneath your knees. It can help relax everything. You just let your knees rest out to the side. Just feel that rest. So at this point, we've created a lot of openness from the previous poses. Openness through your pelvis and relaxation and calmness in your abdomen. So start to notice that. See if it feels any different from when we started the sequence. And this is the time to really fully embrace your time of menstruation. So just, again, relax your thighs and your knees out to the side. And when you relax your belly and your pelvis, you might notice that your face softens as well. Release the jaw by softening the chin. Release the ears, cheekbones, and the area below your nasal passageways. Unclench your teeth. Relax the tongue. And then deepen your eye sockets, so allow your eyes to relax back towards the back of your head. Soften your eyelids. Just remain thoughtfully silent. Again, menstrual time is a time where you can come even deeper inward and gain insights. So the time where your body tells you what there is to work on in your life. Not a time to do anything about it, but just a time to be quiet, receptive, and aware. Place one hand on your lower abdomen and one hand on your chest. And give thanks to your body for doing what it does. And then gently bend both of your knees up and roll to your side. And then press on up, gently, gently, gently. Again, not gripping your abdomen. Come to a seated position. And I like to give a little height underneath my hips. I'm going to show you, we're going to end with what's called the Yoni Mudra. Yoni means pelvic area, reproductive area. So take your pinky, ring finger, and middle finger, clasp them together, and then place the tips of your index finger and the tips of your thumb together, and then point down. So your wrists rest on your inner thighs. Again, index fingers pointing down, thumb tips pointing up. Just close your eyes and notice what you feel here. Mudras are using the hands for a particular energy flow. So see if you can feel the energy flow through your fingers, through your hands. We're bringing energy and awareness to your pelvis. Inhale, feel the wave of your breath wash over your reproductive organs. And exhale, relax. I'll leave you here with a nice intention or mantra. Attuned to my calm inner sea, my cycles and rhythms are balanced naturally. I'll say it one more time as we breathe here. Attuned to my calm inner sea, my cycles and rhythms are balanced naturally. So we can bring our hands into Namaste, and we'll end our practice today. Light in me sees the light in you.